Hey, good morning. It's February 18th, 2026, and welcome to the Rotary Club of San Dimas. My name is Raymond Foster. I am the several times immediate past president and executive secretary of the club. Our president will be with us shortly, but first, let's go around the room and see the spokes of our Rotary wheel. And I'm going to take Rita McGee to block.
Good afternoon, Rita McGee, local estate planning attorney, and everything else.
Don't you have anything you want to say about the boosters? I was hoping there'd be an update for the
Oh,
boosters.
yeah, sure. So tomorrow, if everyone's free at 5 o'clock at the San Dimas Chamber, myself, alongside some of the boosters, alongside Captain Moen of our sheriff station, are hosting an event introducing the Booster Club into the community in preparation for fundraising opportunities and so much more.
Awesome. So that's Rita's introduction. Hey, Mike, I've started the introductions. We've just done Rita. If you're ready, I'll turn it over to you.
Sure.
Hold on, let's. You
Was
only get
was
one.
Rita the only one who's gone so far?
She's the only one I've introduced, but
Okay, all right.
you looked a little disoriented when I said that.
Well, it's because I don't know if the squares are in the same order on my screen as they are on yours. But let's keep moving over to Glenn Johnson.
I'm Glenn Johnson, member of Satellite Rotary Club of Military Family Support.
All right, thanks for being here today, Glenn. Nick, you are a little blurry. Are you able to speak?
I am able to speak, sir.
All right. Yeah, I think for some reason your camera thinks you're a background and it's blurring you out.
It's because I'm ugly. It's better that way for everybody.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Nick McGee. I have no official titles other than Rita Karasik McGee's husband. It's my most important job.
All right. Welcome. Thanks for being here today. Sylvia.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sylvia Melendez. I'm the CEO of the San Dimas Chamber of Commerce. And I also wanted to invite you to tomorrow's mixer with the Booster Club. So hopefully we'll see you there.
All right. Sounds good. Sonia.
I'm Sonia Reed, Chair of Making Spirits Pride and Military Outreach.
Excellent. Thank you. Dominic, I see you're muted. Are you able to speak?
I am. I'm just running around, doing beer stuff. Yeah, Dominic Torres, and chair for the Satellite Rotary, and passive whatever.
All right. And I see a couple other people on here. Do Janita McBride? Are you?
I'm on the road. I wanted to join in to see Al's presentation. I'm a visitor.
Oh, great. Absolutely. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. And Kim.
My name is Kim Zion, and it's the same thing. I'm an associate of Al Batinga's, and I'm his guest today.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. Al, you are our guest speaker today. We're excited about your presentation. You're able to share your screen if you need to, or anything you need from us, just let us know. And if you're ready, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Awesome. Okay. How's that look? Everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Great day today, everyone. I'm Al Batinga. I'm excited to be here. And the topic is high performance teams. And so I'm part of Global Action OC. I happen to be president of that. I'm also president of Anaheim Club 2 Toastmasters, and I run a company called Digitized Learning. So from a high performance team perspective, I'm very involved with it. And so I want to talk about that, have a conversation with you all with the resurgence, not resurgence. Well, it is a resurgence. AI has been in existence a lot longer than most people realize, but with its prominence, it's going to be even more important to be a high performance team. And it's simply because there's lots of things happening behind the scenes that most of us don't even know. Anyways, being in the field, working with the military, working with other organizations out there on AI and leadership, those are the intersections. And of course, inside that space is this concept of a team, right? So I'm going to explain a few things and have fun with this. Jump in if you have any questions. And we also have a few minutes at the end. And I can tell you, there's nothing like being part of a high performance team in the work environment. It's an amazing place, but it is rare. So lots of people tell me they're on a high performance team, but not really from my definition. So I've probably been on 5 or 6 in my entire working career, because when it all comes together, it's something where everybody's on the same page, everybody's leaning forward, everybody's supporting each other. And so we're going to talk about that as we go. And so I'm going to jump in with some. Yeah, this agenda right here is a full agenda. We won't have time for that. We've got 20 minutes max. And so what is a team? I'll talk about that. What's a high performance team? What's the purpose of a high performance team? What's in it for me? Everybody always says, what's in this for me to be part of a high performance team, or to lead a high performance team? And what traits? I'm not going to be able to cover much of it, but that's okay. I will send anybody who wants the PowerPoint slideshow so you can see it. Half of the slides, or 2/3 of the slides, are not going to be shown simply from a time perspective. What stops us from being a high performance team? Best practices. And then, so let me just go forward and just describe what that is. High performance team. So it's 2 or more high performance individuals, and I will discuss what that concept is. What is a high performance individual? That meet and exceed goals and objectives consistently, right? For me, 3 months. If you can get into the 3-month zone, where 3 full months you're in that zone, you've met criteria 1. First criteria is really straightforward. We're going to sell X amount of dollars. We're going to perform at X level. We're going to meet these metrics, right? They're really straightforward. The second part is harder to do, and that is, and are pursuing their collective and individual potential. So that might seem nebulous. You might say, Al, how do you know somebody's potential? Well, as a leader, over time, let's just say in 90 days, I'll be able to tell your potential at some level. You'll be able to tell my potential at some level. And so we're collectively pursuing our team potential as well as individual. When these two come together, you have a high performance team from my goals and expectations and history. It's hard to do, again, simply because there's, one of the things of a high performance team is team first. And so if you can think about, I've had several conversations, lots and lots of conversations about this topic. Ego gets in the way, right? And ego is a human characteristics. It's normal, it's natural. Obviously, Rotary clubs have the concept of service above self, which obviously means that team concept. And inside of that team, inside of that Rotary club, inside of that Toastmasters club, inside of that company, if we can put aside our ego, right? One of probably the biggest concepts that block a high performance team, in my experience. And so I'm going to tell you I'm going to give you 3 concepts of what that entails. So the first one is a high performance individual. That's the core of a high performance team, high performance individual. And so here's 10 skills. Again, I'm glad to, I'm going to go through it quickly. I'm glad to send anybody slideshows. Emotional intelligence, cultural intelligence. I'm not going to discuss cultural, but you can get the point from that. We're in a diverse environment, richly so, right? And so being able to understand other cultures in our environment. Emotional intelligence is a foundational skill for me. When I build and develop high performance teams, I'm working with the military, I'm working with manufacturing companies, I'm working with just a lot of different companies. So from my introduction now, I didn't want to bore you because I saw it on all of your sheets, right? There was a write-up of my background, but I'm a business educator, trainer, and coach. And so what that means, I'm coaching all the executives from a manufacturing company, for instance. And guess what? I don't have much manufacturing experience. Now, the reason I can be successful is simply for the things I'm going to present to you now. Foundationally, they're across the platforms, almost all of it, not all of it, but almost all of it. So having emotional intelligence means you have self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship building. So if you have that as a foundation, you can do almost anything in the work environment, right? And so you can agree, disagree, but at least it can give you something to think about. We have to really be strong from a thinking skills perspective. So these, if you look at it from the bottom up, right? Emotional intelligence is at the foundation. When I hire, when I work with people, I'm looking for their emotional intelligence. I happen to be in Orange County, right next to LA. You guys are right next to LA. We have all these road rage, things like that. Lack of emotional intelligence. Somebody cuts me off, I get angry about it. Why? Until I look over and I see it's my friend. And all of a sudden I'm waving at him and saying, "Oh, what just happened?" My emotional intelligence kicked in. So you can think about those kind of things. So thinking skills, creative, collaborative, these are just a subset of thinking skills. There's a lot more to it, but you understand this, right? We have to be able to reason from an overall perspective. Communication, verbal, vocal, visual, written. We have to be at levels 8, 9, and 10 if you think about it from an overall perspective. Obviously, that can be defined in a bigger, grandiose way, but when you meet someone who's a good communicator. And so on a high performance individual, I consider to be in the upper echelon ranges. So they can communicate with you verbally, vocally, visually, as well as written communication. And then cognitive integrator, that's a couple big words. Learning, integrating, utilizing, and conveying knowledge. They can learn, unlearn, abandon things, relearn, and integrate. That concept. So it used to be knowledge doubled every 18 months. That's no longer anything close. Sometimes we will double in matters of days simply because of AI and all the things that are happening overall, right? We're very connected as a globe, and there's a lot of things happening. So a high performance individual has to be able to learn almost on a dime, integrate, utilizing. So the concept of AI is really a very interesting dynamic. We've never seen technology that learns from itself. And so that's one of the differences. In other words, the technology is learning as we speak. And that's one of the reasons why knowledge is not doubling every 18 months. It's doubling sometimes in weeks, months for sure, days sometimes as you go along. So you and I, as high performance individual, that's who you are, have to be able to understand that change is happening as we speak. So how do I integrate that inside of my environment? Now, I can tell you, working with leaders, most of us are confused. What's happening here? What's going on there? How is AI going to integrate? How is it going to take my job? Right? All of those things. 2 weeks ago, I was with high school kids, 70 high school kids, and their question to me is, should I be taking this major with AI being able to read x-rays better than the normal doctor can? Should I be getting into that field? How about this field? How about that field? So they've got these questions. And so I had 70 parents, students, parents, and also the people from that organization that were asking me these kind of questions. Great questions. I don't know if anybody has those specific answers because it's going to change regularly. It's changing as we change. If you can understand, and I know you do understand that the change is now constant at the highest level I've ever seen it, and I've been around a long time. So being able to cognitively integrate everything that's coming in, to be able to understand AI at a level that can support your efforts or at least know what questions to ask. Resource maximizer, you and I, we utilize our time, opportunity, finance, equipment, partners, and all of the above. High performance individual can do those kinds of things. And it's important to understand that our resources are limited, right? We don't have much time. Opportunity comes and it goes. It changes as we speak. Finances, equipment, partners, these go in and out from a utilization, from a relevance perspective. I mean, they just released Claude, a version of Claude that says SaaS, software as a service, is going to be extinct. Now, that's a huge discussion. And I talked to somebody who's really in the trenches, and he said, well, it's going to happen, but not as soon as people are saying. It's going to happen, but not tomorrow, next week, next month kind of thing. And that's a big play inside of the tech space. Technology 2.0, we can't, because many of us are working out of our homes, we have to be able to troubleshoot, we have to be able to add software, delete software, we have to understand AI, Web 2.0, things like that. So I can tell you, I've run a bunch of companies, right? And when I say a bunch of companies, a couple hundred people are the most. 10 people, 75 people, 20 people, that kind of numbers is small businesses, one person, myself, that kind of thing. And I can tell you, if one of my clients, so I coach to manufacturing companies and others, if they were to ask me to hire for them, which they have in the past, if you don't understand AI at a foundational level, I'm probably not going to hire you if you're not a field person. If you're driving a truck for us, that's one thing. But if you're in the office, I'm not going to do it anymore. So if you can remember this, it used to be Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, Outlook. We're going to take it for granted that you know that stuff. Maybe we'll test you and say, can you show me a spreadsheet? Can you create a spreadsheet, a basic spreadsheet? Okay, good. I'm sure you understand Outlook. Yep, I do. Can you create a PowerPoint slideshow? All good. Now it's, what can you do with ChatGPT, Copilot, Grok? What can you do with that? Do you know how to prompt? Here's 3 things I want you to prompt. Can you do it? And if you are not able to do that today in 2026, Al, not saying other people are thinking like me, I won't hire you. Not because you're not good, but because it's fundamental now. I use it, by the way, hours a day, not minutes, not moments, hours in my day. And then specialized knowledge, whether you're an accountant or a programmer, or you're a manager, or you're front desk, you obviously have to have specialized knowledge at a high level. And what's happening is AI is going to force us into this. Because if you don't have high level knowledge and it is repetitive, AI can take it today, not next month, next year, today. And you've already heard all of that, right? I'm somebody who's just telling you, the choir, what you already know. Health and well-being, of course, right? We have to really especially take care of our mental health, physical health, and all of the above there. Business acumen, you have to understand your business. Strategic thinking, financial literacy, ethical decision-making, understanding business operations. I'm coaching one person right now who's the operations manager to take over a company in 6 months. And that's the objective. And one of the foundational concepts here is, do you understand overall the whole company, how that works? Do you understand the finances? Do you understand how HR works? Do you understand how facilities works? Do you understand how your sales team works? And these are things, he's very accustomed to the production. I'm talking about a manufacturing company, but now we have to go out. And by the way, I'm not just talking about somebody taking over presidency for a company. I'm talking about all of us, because your role in general will change. As AI comes in, what you're doing today will change. I mean, I heard somebody, 2 of my kids are lawyers. They're at Cornell, and one's going through a PhD there, and as well as teaching there. And somebody actually said, in 3 years, we won't need lawyers. Now, I know I said, what? What are you talking about? And what they said to me is, all the case studies, all that legal, all that stuff will be accessible on our fingertips. So I had to think about that. Elon Musk said the need for doctors are almost nil in 3 years. That's what he actually said on a webcast that I listened to. Now, much of this may be overblown, but I can tell you what it's going to do is it's going to diminish the fields. So let's just use a number. Instead of 100 lawyers, you might need 25. Instead of 100 doctors, you might need 50. Why? Because AI can diagnose, it can look at a blood test, they can look at all kinds of things there overall. Now, here's my point in saying that to you. If you're a high performance individual like you are, you don't have to worry about these things. I was telling the kids, the high school kids, foundational knowledge. I want you to understand this. I shared with them this list. If you're strong in this list, now you're a high school kid, I don't expect you to be strong today, but over time, I would expect you to understand your business. Whatever field you go into, medical field, legal field, doesn't matter, but you have to have foundational skills. And last but not least, is you have to be an outstanding collaborator. You're going to have to work with people. You're going to have to mesh with people. You're going to have to connect. And then you're going to have to be able to adjust and move on to a different team and do the same thing there where you're connecting at that higher levels. So I can tell you this is just how I work, right? I'm a high performance individual like you are. So I work in the medical field with no medical background. Why? I take these skills and I apply them. I work in the manufacturing, which I've already told you I have minimal. I take these skills and I apply them. I took over Rotary as a president without ever being being in Rotary at all. Why? Because I take my skills, my Toastmasters skills, my company skills, all of those skills, and I applied it to Rotary. And so our Rotary Club, Global Action OC, is focused on providing education, training, and coaching to the underserved markets. That's what we're doing. We're not doing anything else. That's our focus. This concept right here to the underserved markets. That's our goals and objectives. And so I have good people around me who are much smarter in the Rotary way than I am or ever will be. 25 years here, 15 years there, that kind of thing inside of Rotary. I'll never be that smart, but I can apply high performance individual skills to that to get it to a good, strong, solid level where we're serving the community globally at the highest levels that we can as a team. So that's how high performance individuals. So you and I can look at this. I can look at the kids. I can look at my kids. I can look at my teammates. I can ask them, where are you at on these skills? And by the way, you could be a 0 on half of these skills and 2s and 3s on the other half. It's okay. What's the plan to move yourself forward? That's my question. And how can I support your efforts? That's my second question. What can I do to help you? Because I'm a high performance leader like you are too, right? So high performance leader is very simple. Vision, you got to have a very clear vision of what it is you're doing. I'm rushing through. I've got about another 3 minutes here. Vision, mission, values, goals, plans, execute, evaluate, adjust, and adapt. And then short form of that is vision, alignment, execution. You can take all these steps on the left and you say, here's where we're going in 6 months or 3 months or 3 years. And vision is how far can you see? That's vision. And some people can see a month, no problem. Let's figure out the vision for a month. Some people can see 5 years. Some people can see 10 years. Obviously, you know it's going to change. Obviously, you know that it probably is not going to work out like that. But it's like one of the military leaders said, planning is invaluable. Plans are a waste. So if you get that, you're understanding the process of planning is incredibly rich. But the understanding that even now, AI will change so many plans that we have, or global changes, political changes are going to change so many things there. So you need a high performance individual, high performance leader, and then you need, and one of the fundamentals here is when I coach executives, I say, teach us how to think. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me go to A, B, C. I can get all that. right? You got an SOP, standard operating procedure. I can go read all that. Teach me how you think about Rotary. Teach me how you think about the projects we're working on. If you can do that, now we're on track, and then we can move forward. And so the best question I always ask is, what do you think and why? So when we have time and somebody asks me a question, I don't like to give answers, because really what I'm testing is your thought pattern. Now, the easiest thing is to tell you what to do, to tell you what I want you to make happen. The harder thing is to step back and say, here's our vision, here's our goals, here's our mission. What do you think? Sit back, listen, and then you'll see exactly the way they think about that process. And then if you adjust and adapt and help and coach them into understanding what that thought process is, you'll have accomplished. It's like getting people to delegate, right? Getting managers to delegate. The big issue I hear is, well, I don't have time to delegate. Well, you know that 3 hours you missed out on, it was actually 30 hours or 300 hours. So you got to figure those kinds of things out. The last thing is a high performance system. Crystal clarity on everything, standard operating procedures. The most successful businesses out there are franchises, small businesses, and they're very systematic. Systematic approach on 80% of it. 20% is the creative, is the adjusting, but you got to have systems in order to have a high performance team. Otherwise, we're inventing things as we go. Cross-training, backups, these are all things that I work with people on. Kaizen, continuous improvement, feedback system, AI implementation. You got to have generative AI in there, ChatGPT, Grok, things like that. There's task-based IT stuff that people are working on, and task-based IT and us, agents. Agents are the next big thing in 2026, which means that agents can actually take over things for you and do things for you that are multiple steps. Some of those agents can run for many minutes and some of them even hours. Those are fairly new things. Some of you who've been in technology, you understand macros, you understand programming. It's that at a refined level where it actually will look at things and make decisions. That's unheard of in the past, right? So it'll look at things and make decisions, left, right, up, or down. And it can do those kinds of things for us because of the artificial intelligence concept. And so a high performance team is made up of high performance individual, high performance leader, high performance system. And a high performance individual can work on most teams. That's the benefit. When AI changes your environment, you can go to another place because you're a high performance individual. You're not stuck. A high performance leader can lead most teams, not necessarily all, but most teams, because foundationally, if you understand vision, mission, values, goals, plan, execute, evaluate, adjust, adapt, you can play on a different team. I've done it many, many times. I've taken over teams in the medical community, run 2 organizations without any background in medical places. I know that sounds kind of far-fetched, right? I'm consulting for them. I'm helping them teach their leadership. And then we had some voids in there, and I said, I can do this. And I did it for like 10 months. Why? Because I have some skills like you do. And a high performance team can take on almost any project and succeed. There are exceptions, by the way, but in general, these are foundational knowledge, foundational skill that you can apply to different environments and do a lot of different things simply because your foundation, high performance individual, is strong. And so those basics are critically important. So anyways, here's the action. What one action can I take to become a stronger, high-performance individual? What one action can I take to help my team become a high-performance team? What one action can I take to become a stronger, high-performance leader? And so this is a slideshow, and I'll gladly show you. I've hid about 2/3 of the slides if I recall right. So let me open it. I know we've got maybe 7-8 minutes. Questions. I'm good with any questions that you have. I know I went fast, and I'm going to stop share here so I can look at your wonderful faces.
All right. Thank you, Al. Yeah, you certainly, I can tell that presentation is probably usually an hour or longer.
It's a couple of days.
A couple days, yeah. All right, yeah, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. Anybody feel free to unmute yourself and jump in with any questions.
I got one there. Just a quick question. So this room is filled with high performance people, and I know all of them. So it seems to me, especially as I know them more and we work closer together, that the EQ for managing and working with high performance people is more important than the IQ. Am I on the right path there?
Absolutely. EQ outshines IQ almost all the time. I mean, the only time you're thinking on IQ is if it's a specific cognitive type of concepts. But EQ, for me, EQ is critically important, right? The emotional intelligence. And so the concept, remember, I'll just review it, right? Self-awareness. Now, I have to tell you, you're right. Your team here are a group of high performance individuals, but we can all improve. And so when I'm coaching people, I ask those kind of questions. I coach CEOs. And so let me tell you, they all think that they've got everything together. And then once we start talking about things, they figure out the holes, right? We all have to do that. I do that almost every day. I will do that about this, by the way. I'm going to ask myself when we are off here, if I had this to do over again, what would I adjust? Now I can see it in my mind. I packed a lot of information in a short period of time. I got my timer here. I'm looking at the 20 minutes and I'm trying to get, and so I could have probably, I'm just being evaluated by myself, taking it down. Maybe I should have given you 10. Maybe I should have given you 5 and said, and leave the 5 off because I didn't develop it, right? So these are things I'm assessing. Every single one of us can do that. AI will change the game. It already has, by the way. And if we're not cognizant, if we're not understanding of what's happening out there in that world, anyways, I just know things that are out there because I work in that space, right? AI and leadership is what I'm working with the military, with the Navy. I'm doing 6 more days in Port Hueneme, working with their management over there about that. And it is very interesting. So anyways, yeah, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship management. Those are the 4 foundations there.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I found your, obviously the entire presentation was very interesting, but one thing that you said that kind of struck me was about the road rage comment toward the beginning, because a lot of times when we hear about emotional intelligence, it's connecting with people. And sorry, I just got
something happened to him. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Apparently we got overconnected, Al. Well, we'll wait to see if he pops back in, but in the meantime, does anybody have any other questions for our guest? It was a fabulous presentation, and so let's continue. I know you want to hang out and see what we got going on and see how our high performance team works, but let's get Mike back in the room here.
Sylvia, did you have a question? You went off mic there, Sylvia.
No, I was just going to say great presentation, sir. That was very, very interesting.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. I got another phone call and then that kicked me out of the Zoom meeting. So, what kind of struck me is, in speaking about emotional intelligence, you kind of think about the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and to relate to people of different backgrounds and empathy and sympathy and communicating across cultural barriers and that sort of thing. And I don't hear that term very often brought up in sort of an emotional, a situation like road rage where, the nicest person in the world can fly off the handle in the wrong situation, and so that really struck me, and that professionally and in the corporate world, I've spent my career hearing a lot about emotional intelligence, and not necessarily just those speaking about it in those pressure point situations where people are irrational, and being able to regulate your own emotions kind of in the most stressful situations. So that was very interesting to me.
Yeah, and I'll add one more quick thing on that. So exactly what you're saying, you can ask yourself what stresses you out. What are your hot buttons and why, right? Those are some deep concepts there. So one of the things that most people don't know is what are your unconscious biases? And the challenge of it is the word unconscious bias means you don't know by definition until you dig in and sit there and have a conversation with other people and say, what do you think about my how I handle things? What's my unconscious bias? And here's the 20 unconscious biases that are out there. Those kinds of things. How do you like to be managed? How do you like to be led? How do you manage? How do you lead? Is that the most efficient, effective? I mean, there's 100 questions you can ask, Michael. And one of the things, I go in meetings, and all of us go in meetings, and you can see somebody losing it simply because it's a hot button, right? I'll tell you, I'll give you a global thought for you. One of the biggest challenges we have is we're not able to sit at the table and discuss. My son is a lawyer specializing in the Middle East. And he told me 3-4 years ago, he said, this is a sad thing, until the older generation dies off, they're not going to solve it. Because he's in these high level meetings. He's been to Iraq, Iran, Syria, Guantanamo Bay, and so on and so on. And then October 7th happened, and now everything escalated, so they can't even talk. That's part of emotional intelligence. How about the left and right in our own country? So twice a month, I'm on a conversation with Asia and some parts of Europe and all of that, and they talk about this. By the way, they talk about watching the United States and how it's so. They're sitting back and watching us, and it's really interesting. That's emotional intelligence for me. If somebody can't say to me, I believe in X, and have me not fly off the handle, that's emotional intelligence. The fact that I don't, and the fact that I can say, well, tell me more about it. Even if I vehemently disagree with you, let me hear. So if any of you want a good book, and most of you have read it because you're high performance individuals, it's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Fifth habit is seek first to understand, then to be understood. And I'll add something. Seek first to understand, then and only then to be understood. What if we did that? Right? I don't care if you believed in whatever, do the worst thing. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say, tell me more, or let's talk. I'm going to have a conversation with you. One of my best friends is in prison last 16 years. And I can tell, I went up to visit her in Portland in Coffee Creek Correctional. I learned so much just by sitting down, listening to it, having her cry about things because it was emotional, and just listening through it. And we're just going to have to be more of that. Not that you were asking all of that, Michael. Sorry, I got off on a tangent, but
No, that's wonderful.
yeah, it's important, right? It's
Mhm.
important that we are able to discuss things even if you disagree with what I'm saying, right? And so, yeah, things will change when we do, if we ever do. Hopefully we do.
Excellent. All right. Any other questions for our presenter today? All right. Well, thank you very much, Al. That was eye-opening, enlightening,
Yeah, my
and
pleasure. Yeah, and I'm going to stick around because I want to watch you guys. I want to learn from you. So Janita and Kim, thank you for stopping in, and I appreciate you guys. They wanted to see my presentation. I So I invited a couple people, and you guys run a great club here. So I'm going to sit back and learn.
Excellent. All right. Yeah, we do have some club business, I believe. Raymond, I didn't see an agenda. Did you send me an agenda this week?
I did, but that's okay.
That's okay. I am at my computer, so let me
The next up would be the fine master, and I think that's Rita who is either asleep or eating surreptitiously. I'm not sure which it is.
No, we can't call on her until she takes a bite. Yeah, fine master, Rita, take it
Yes.
away.
Give me 1 second.
Excellent.
Oh
I
man.
don't know what I did with my letter again. I had saved it, and now it's gone. Oh, here it is. Okay. See, I'm not a high functioning individual today.
Well, I'm gonna
All
find
right, fine,
Rita.
huh?
I'm gonna find Rita $5 for delay in play.
You should. You should. I'm gonna find myself $5 for that. Okay, so uh Rotary fine. Now you could fine yourself for the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the good is if you're winning in life and you can afford it. The bad is us trying to will keep you humble. And the ugly, because you did it, we deserve compensation for having to listen to it. Or in our cases, probably have seen you do it. So every dollar goes right back into the community, into our community. So technically, this is a charity donation. I will start. I'm going to find myself $5 for not having this pulled up. And also having severe road rage. I can't control that. I've tried. Everyone knows I've tried, but I just cannot.
Yeah, road rage is certainly one of the toughest situations for me to regulate my emotions. I used to have a very long commute from San Dimas to at different times, San Dimas down to Irvine and San Dimas to Huntington Beach. And yeah, when there would be people, you know, that go all the way up the median to merge in, I would take that very personally and feel as though that person is making a statement that their time with their family is more important than my time with my family. So I that is a work in progress. I'm still working on the road rage, but I'm gonna find Steve Scott because he's not here today. um, and but I'm gonna pay his fine. So I'm gonna fine $10 on Steve's behalf because this weekend is President-elect training seminar at a hotel near LAX, and I will be there. But Steve has shown me a lot of tricks of the trade over the years of what is worthwhile and mandatory, and what you can choose to kind of skip out on, and maybe put in an alternative agenda. Meet with other club presidents in your area, and try to find more valuable time in time that's spent at pets. So I really appreciate everything that Steve has taught me about navigating the ups and downs of a weekend at a pet seminar. So that's me. That's $10.
Rita, if I could, I'll find myself $10 if I could share some of upcoming events. Is that okay?
Fine with me.
But March, so we already know about yours. So your after hours mixer on Thursday. So please join us for that. But then we also have the distinguished detailing ribbon cutting. It'll be here at the chamber on the 26th. It's going to be our first home-based business ribbon cutting, and we're doing it here at the office. We're taking advantage of this beautiful location. So we'll have it here on the 26th at 4:30 p.m. In March, we have a full list of upcoming events. We have Batinga Unified School District State of the School District Address. We also have a coffee hour that's on the 2nd, and on the 10th is going to be Rita's coffee hour, and it'll be here at the chamber. On the 19th, we have an after hours mixer with the San Dimas Laverne Seroptimus group, and that'll be at the Batinga Unified School District location. And then we're going to have a chamber member toolkit. So if you're a chamber member or you're thinking about becoming a chamber member, we'll teach you all about Chamber Master, which is our platform. You have basically a website within our website. And so we'll tell you how to list your business directory, how to add items to our calendar. There's just so many things you could do with our platform. And sometimes people don't take advantage of it. And then that's a huge tool to utilize and take advantage of. So, and that's on the 25th at Total Wine and More. For more information, please visit sandimaschamber.org. And that's it for me.
Sylvia, I think you forgot Fridays.
No, so it's not public, unfortunately.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, it's on the we'll get the so there's gonna be a ribbon cutting. It's not open to everybody. That's why we
Oh, okay. So they're still gonna have a ribbon cutting. Got it.
Yes, they're definitely gonna have a ribbon cutting. We'll tell you more. Please be on the lookout on our Facebook page, and you'll get all the pictures and all that good stuff. It's mostly staff only, and inviting and people that are individuals. So sorry about that, guys. It's not open to everybody.
Anybody else going to find themselves? No. All right.
All right. Thank you very much. Raymond, are you able to share the agenda?
Sure.
Or do
Next
you
up
want to
is-
just kind of run through it?
Sure. The next is Action 360. So the food drive recap. We have our March food drive is coming up, and that will be on the 14th. A couple of important things to know. LASO has agreed to partner with us again, which is cool. They sent an email out. I got a copy of it to every station and every unit in the sheriff's department. Somehow that got over to the Long Beach Air Traffic Controllers Union, who sent it over to an Army Officers Association, who called me. And the guy says, well, how do I donate money to you? So that was an easy question to answer. So this thing is turned, again, very regional. Target is 6 to 8 tons of food. Sean Casey has agreed to go out to Fort Irwin with his truck and trailer. Dominic and Mike will be handling Camp Pendleton. And the 55-foot trailer will be there on Saturday for loading palletized. We're going to palletize again and taking out to 29 Palms. So if anybody wants to go on the transportation day, now is the time to let me know so we can begin to make the arrangements to get you onto the base. But everything's looking good. The kickoff date is March 12th at High Point. And we're already, the March 12th is going to be the Sheriff's Department's day to come in because that's an on-duty day for them. It's a weekday. So March 14th, that's it. Everything I have about the food drive. Do I have questions? Next thing. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
Raymond. I did have somebody call us earlier, and they were interested in possibly joining you for that day, and then maybe donating some bags, just for any kind of purpose. So I'll touch base with you after.
Great, that'd be great. We have 20 boxes out there. I'm going to drop one at the chamber, one at Rita's office. So we have 10 left to produce. If you'd like one for your business or know someone who would like one, we certainly put that out there for you. The next thing is about the Marine Corps dinner. So we're going to have a walkthrough of the Diamond Bar Center on Thursday, March 5th at 10:30 a.m. If you would like to go and see the Diamond Bar Center, we are leaning very heavily towards that. It's 438 seats available. I think that we could fill it. We filled the auditorium at Life Pacific University last year, so that will be for the Marine Corps dinner on November 10th. As many people need to go as possible so you can get on board with doing this. This changes it from a local event to a regional event, which means that the push for the sale of tickets and for sponsorships is crucial. But I think we can do it. And I need you to look through it, buy in, and see what a great place this is. And by the way, we can have a bar at this place, so we can have alcohol, and so we'll get Marines and alcohol. It should be interesting. So that's it right now. Oh, last thing, teacher mini grants. We the San Gabriel Valley Examiner. This is the front page, and there you are, Mike. On the front page, Rotary Club of San Dimas celebrates
Oh,
our
cool.
2025 mini grant recipients. And so basically it was a recap of our decade-long investment in local schools here. And so I thought that was a very cool thing they did for us. We've got a really good relationship with this paper right now. They're really very helpful. So that is your Action 360 in the community right now.
Great. Do you mind sending me that, whether it's a link or a screenshot, whatever you have, Raymond?
I will. I also posted it up on if you want to get it immediately, it's a post at our Facebook page.
On Facebook. Okay. Yeah, I'll get it on Facebook then. Cool. All right. Is calendar next?
Yeah, calendar and then four-way test, and then we're done, and we are within the 1 hour, so we're doing very well.
All right.
Okay, so the next meeting is on the 25th. That is event planning. That will be again at 6 p.m. in the evening. That's our final thing before the food drive. So need all hands to be there for your suggestions. After that, our next meeting is Raise Your Energy with Dave Freeman. And then that is basically food drive week for a while. On March 18th, we'll have Steve Scott will be coming in and talking about homeowners insurance in California. And on April 1st, a really interesting one on music therapy. And so I'm beginning to flesh out our next Rotary year. If you would like to have a speaker or have an idea, please send me an email. That's your calendar for today.
All right. Thank you, Raymond. Yeah, so I'll just quickly run through the four-way test. Four-way test is an ethical test developed by Rotarians of everything we think, say, and do. And if you pass all four of these tests, then you can be reasonably assured that you are acting in an ethical manner. And the four-way test is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? It's pretty easy to get hung up on, well, it passes test one, so I must be fine, or three, and maybe you do some mental gymnastics trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, but it's pretty simple. If you pass all four of those, all four of those statements are true statements, then you can be reasonably assured that you are acting in an ethical manner that is fair to all concerned. That's today's four-way test. I'd like to thank our guest, Al, again for a wonderful presentation. Thank you for hanging around and spending some time with us. And yeah,
So
go ahead.
So one is, as I mentioned earlier, we're providing education, training, coaching to the underserved markets. So if you find those kind of markets, we're glad to. I've got a group of people who are trainers and coaches and things like that. So the divide between have and have nots is going to go further. It's going to grow further because of AI. It's a clear concept there. Most people don't know the ChatGPT. There's free. There's $20, which I have, and then there's $200. And most people don't know there's a $200 level that anybody with money can get to, right? It's $20 and then free. And Grok, $0, $30, and $300. So anyways, I'm an educator, trainer, and coach from back in my teenage years going on. So if there's a group that you say it would be good if they learned teamwork, or if they learned communication skills, or if they learned AI, any of those kind of things, we would love to do. And I'm listening to what you're talking about. I'm a former Marine. So looking at what you're doing on the 10th of November, I'm going to look into that, see if there's ways I can participate, or maybe even our team to participate. Anyways, those are, we can do something together going forward, because I had the opportunity to meet you all.
All right. That sounds great. Thank you very much. And everybody have a great day. Thank you for a wonderful meeting. And we will adjourn the meeting at 12:58.